let's call the meeting to order, and let's have roll call.
Agnes Varnarski, Chairperson.
Present.
Dana Syvertson, Commissioner.
Here.
John Kamish, Commissioner.
Here.
Ed Madden, Commissioner.
Present.
Pete Hahn, Commissioner.
Here.
Joe Moscal, Commissioner, present. Seth Marcus is absent, but we have a quorum.
Okay, before we get started, I'd like to make a note and add a couple of items to the agenda, and if anybody doesn't object, I'll just add them in on the fly.
Okay.
All right? Okay, go ahead.
Let's have approval of minutes of the board meeting of November 4th.
I make the motion that we approve the minutes that had only one typo correction from Jill Maskell.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Minutes approved. Okay, moving on to old business, volunteer workdays and winter projects.
Volunteer work days are crazy good. We had like 26 people last, for the first work day of this year. The totals are in, we had 4,482 hours this year.
Wow.
You mean
The,
2024?
2020.
That 2024, yeah. So 2023 was 3,374, 22 was 2,889, 21 was 2,067, and 20, COVID year, was 926. So there's been a steady climbing.
Yeah.
Like a
huge.
33% increase from last
Yeah.
year, the previous year.
Right.
Yeah, it's, we're on a real positive trend with all this, so.
Yes, we have new volunteers coming into place. We just had a new volunteer from Oak Park this past workday, and just all the time, new volunteers and old volunteers, and it was so freezing cold.
It was brutally cold,
It was
but
very cold, and so many people. It was 26?
26.
26.
Yeah, but
Showed
the
up.
wind. The wind's the killer.
Yeah. Well,
So
we have, you know, we have the hand warmers and the toe warmers, and
Not that I
we
was
have that
there.
fire, and we were in a really nice place where it was a little bit more sheltered, and everybody had a great
So the
time.
next workday, I think, is still at the slough, right?
Right, so,
Continuing with the process of moving that riparian buffer towards the north
maybe,
and stripping out all that brush that's in there and
I
putting
think it really
down seed.
depends on the weather, because we want to get to Morava, but it was just really too cold, and it's not very isolated over there.
Yeah,
It's a little windy, and so we want to protect our
Morava's
volunteers.
colder than the slough? It's hard to
It
believe.
was.
it was horrible.
We went to check it out the day before. It was just really frigid, so I don't know. I don't know why. It seems like it's in a depression. It should be protected a little bit, but it's a lot more windier somehow. But either Morava or the slough, I think.
Any questions about workdays?
Comments, suggestions, alternatives? No. Prospect Heights Public Library Park District events.
Okay, we have Flo coming up from Scotland. She'll be on February 13th, 7 o'clock. April is the next speaker, and
Wait a minute.
several things on
That's
that.
our meeting.
What's that?
February 13th is our meeting, February meeting date.
Okay, we'll
So
have to change it.
we'll have to move it
But
up.
is she doing it in the evening?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
7 o'clock.
Oh,
Good call.
on February 13th?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, because didn't we already change her?
Right, yeah, we
Yeah,
already
we-
accommodated that.
We already
Went
accommodated
through that
her.
debacle.
Right, we,
Again, Dana,
Three
please
times.
forward any information for
Yeah, I
press
will.
release.
so we need to change our meeting.
Okay.
All right, moving on, projects, update status, public service pollinator park.
Okay, I have some information here from Mark. You recall that he put out requests for bid the last time we talked, and it came in 9,000 over what it was originally estimated at being. So he went back to the drawing board with the engineers, and they have revised and lowered the elevation of the pad to reduce the amount of backfill. They've decreased the thickness of the slab concrete, and the expectation is to reduce the cost. Now, he's also going to send the bid out for public broadcast bid for a larger target of audience of contractors, and he expects that the bids will be calculated and received by mid-February, with now spring construction in 2025.
They don't anticipate any issues with the thinner pad? for
No.
longevity?
No, I mean, they were going with an exorbitant amount of fill to try to level that off between the two, and there's really no need to do that. It just puts a ramp down to the pad. So I think it all makes perfect sense, so we'll see what those numbers come back.
Well, not the fill, but the pad.
Yeah.
actual pad.
No, but they were going because they were trying to balance out the fill amount with the concrete thickness of the pad. So I trust the engineers are going to get it correct. So
Okay.
that's all I can do at this point.
Was it the previously budgeted for amount? Was it just because it didn't have engineering?
No, Mark had originally talked to one contractor that they work with a lot and got an estimate of 10 grand to do the project, and we added another 1,000, that's what we put in the budget. So we had 11,000, and then it came back at 18,000, which is 2,000 short of the whole project, so clearly that's not going to work. So by reinventing the slab and the sidewalks, Mark's hoping that that's going to bring it back into compliance there.
Maybe having more contractors.
So we'll see. It could be just more contractors too. We'll take care of it. Also, we have in the budget trees for 1380. I've gotten 2 quotes at this point for a bur oak for $395 and a tulip tree for $125. I'm still waiting on 2 other quotes. So it's at some point we'll purchase those trees, but have them delivered when it's spring. So I'll let you know as soon as I have those locked in. Other than that, we drove by a couple days ago, and the herbicide has completely taken effect. So the only thing that's green is the mow path, and everything else is dead. So,
And then there's seeds that we purchased, special seeds that are already stratifying. Yeah, it's far away from me, I didn't notice. The seeds we purchased are already stratifying for the project, some really nice seeds. to go around
yeah,
the perimeter.
she purchased several low,
Rarer seeds that
rarer
are
seeds, and
low.
propagated all of them. So there'll be plugs that will go in. So that's going to be very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, any questions?
Nope.
Okay, did you want to add your thing right here, or?
No, we'll add it later.
Okay. All right, then the seed greenhouse program update. I would say that probably 80% of the seeds are out. All of our seeds, all the mixes out everywhere. There's probably 20% left. I have about 20 trays stratifying, and I still have to work through the rest of the seeds to stratify them and put out the rest of the seeds in various areas around the slough and in all our projects. So moving along. Don't have any
Okay.
more from that. We did collect a little bit less seed than usual this year, though, so should probably ramp up our seed collection days, or maybe in the fall have more seed collection work days.
I thought we were
think-
doing good.
We were, but not as good as last year.
It was a weird seed collection there because they weren't ripe and then they were gone.
That's true.
Yeah, it was really
Everybody had
windy.
the same problem too.
I think that was part of the issue. It was like all of a sudden, you know, we waited for it, and then the weather changed, and it was just a strange weather year. Okay. Then moving along, education updates.
Okay, here's where I want to insert one topic here. This is East Leiden High School. I heard from Megan today, who's the coordinator of the service club, and they would like to schedule 2 work days with us,
Wow.
one in March and one in April. So Agnes and I talked about this, and again, we're talking about 67 students.
Just a lot of students.
So we talked about doing something towards the end of March at the Remnant Prairie to try to tackle all that brush and crazy stuff that's invasive over there.
That's an excellent idea.
And that would be a really great application for them, and would really get a lot of work done, and then
And
we
it'll
could
be-
have ComEd pick it all up. So,
And it would be warm enough so that we wouldn't have to have a fire to keep everybody warm.
right. And then April, we thought we'd use them to do transplanting, just do a mass transplanting
Mass
with 67 people. It's like,
Which will be difficult, but if we have enough help.
Yeah, teenagers too.
I know, we'll give them
We'll feed
the
'em.
easy stuff. We'll give them the easy stuff. We'll give them all grasses to transplant.
Yeah.
How about that?
So those dates, I just ran all that by Megan today. She asked for suggestions, so as soon as I hear back from her, we'll try to line up hard dates on those. That's terrific. MacArthur Middle School, nothing new to report there, right?
Nothing.
Same with Wheeling.
Same.
And we heard from District 214, there are some interns for this spring. They're going to let us know tomorrow who they are and hook us up
How
with
many and when they
Right.
would start.
them. Any questions about schools? Education?
Nope.
Okay. Prescribed burns, we did get the permit. Everything is squared away. The new system works. Met the new guy. We're in good shape, so just have no cooperation from nature, so
Yeah, burn
everything is
season.
going over towards,
I think everybody had like 1 or 2 burn days
Yeah.
this fall. I mean, like, including Cook County Forest Preserve. Usually they have like 7 days, 8 days. So it was a very bad fall burn season. They're gonna have to make up for it in the spring.
or winter again.
I was gonna say, what about winter burn? Is that a thing, possibly?
Yeah,
It
so we
is.
did it last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, we started a lot earlier. Sure. It's all about the relative humidity and the winds and everything else. So far,
Snow.
no. Precipitation, snow. Oh, boy, yeah.
Fire,
All right,
Wouldn't be burning during those conditions. Okay,
it's close.
so moving on then, continuous reporting the budget,
here you go.
Oh,
2024, 2025.
I'm sorry, I just got it back in town and I did not review the,
Okay, so the budget, you have, everybody got a copy of that. The budget funding for
So it shows that we still have
last year,
$4,159.20 left
correct,
for, to expend by April.
correct, which is not going to be a problem.
By end of April.
Yeah.
Okay.
The shoreline budget
Basically, it's used up.
is 6,000, we have $17 left. The first responder, the service park, we still haven't, we've tapped into that for $432 worth of seed out of the 20, so the net revenue is less than 20.
But not by much.
And I just talked to Peter when we came in, we need to have next year's budget requests together
I just noticed something.
in February.
It seems like the same amount, Prairie Moon Nursery, 432.75, and here, same date, 432.75, both out of our budget and out of the first responder budget. I just noticed that right now.
I just saw that too. It's
I think
reported
it's-
twice.
Oh, okay,
We'll show it to you, yeah.
yeah, okay.
It shows up in 2 places.
Yeah, right, so. And then, do you want to mention that we had another donation?
Yes, and we got another donation from Kate Tully and Andy Bagoli for $300. Those guys are just golden, and it's their year-end contribution to the NRC, so thank you, guys.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Question is, should we apply it this year or for next year's budget?
go for next year, I would think. We got, I mean, what do you have budgeted to purchase with our $4,100 left? We got more than,
I think we're good. I mean,
You
soil,
want to-
pots.
Yeah, soil pots.
Soil, everything that we need for this
so then we could
spring.
apply their donation to next year's budget?
Yeah, we could just hold it.
Can we do that?
We could probably even, if Friends of the NRC is working.
Correct.
It's up and
Oh,
running,
yeah.
the city can cut a check for $300. We can cash this, cut a check for $300 to the Friends of the NRC.
Okay.
Okay,
This way,
so let's hold on to
if
that.
you're 501c3,
Then we don't have to worry about it.
That might be a better way to go about that, then,
Great.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, I think that's a great idea. We have better control about when to spend. Okay, moving on. Oh, did you want to talk about the Park District, the funding? They funded us, the Park District.
Yeah, they did. The budget for, well, we talked about that last time.
Oh, we did,
So,
okay,
yeah.
so we're budgeted for, by the Park District.
What is the amount, do you know?
It was 1,000 more than last year, so it's like 7 something.
8,500 or 7,500?
No, that was, it's like 8,500.
8,500?
Oh, nice.
I can give you the exact number when I get home.
Thank you. Okay.
And then the City of Prospect Heights budget request.
Yes.
And we should start working on it and have something by the end of January.
Correct.
So we'll have to work on that. Okay. Moving on to city civic meetings and PHNRC representation.
Okay.
Jill?
The November 20th, 2024 Planning and Zoning Board of Appeals meeting, Dan Peterson reported that the attorney reviewed the draft chicken ordinance. Dan had been in contact with the Community Chicken Keepers Group and the folks who wanted reasonable restrictions. The first reading of the chicken ordinance occurred at the November 25th City Council meeting. The PZBA released their 2025 meeting schedule. The first meeting of 2025 has been rescheduled from January 22nd to January 29th. The March 2025 meeting has been rescheduled from March 26th to March 19th. At December City Council meeting, Deputy Chief Milo Durman has been promoted to Chief of Police upon the retirement in February 2025 of William Campanegro. The first reading of the chicken ordinance occurred at the City Council meeting of November 25th, 2024. The second reading of the chicken ordinance was tabled by the City Council to the December 9th meeting. Was tabled from the December 9th meeting to a City Council meeting in January. I checked the January 13th agenda and I did not see it on there for the upcoming meeting, so I presume it will be end of January. And the reason for the tabling is to obtain answers from Dan Peterson with interpretation of what has been brought to the City Council from the PZBA. The city's website and e-newspaper will announce the meeting date when the chicken ordinance will be discussed and voted upon by the City Council. Prospect Heights Park District Board meetings. Christina Ferrero has arranged a community meeting with Tully Park residents on Thursday, January 30th at 6:30 p.m. at the Gary Morava Recreation Center to present a revised plan with associated costs based on the feedback received in October 2024 regarding surface options and plantings for the remainder of the parcel at 214 South Wheeling Road, which is adjacent to Tully Park. A Zoom option will be available for the community meeting. The Park District continues to investigate the cost, grants, and feasibility of alternative options for the gravel area, such as using a permeable mesh or webbing material instead of gravel. Christina Ferrero, Executive Director, earned the Certified Park and Recreation Executive Certification in December 2024. This is the highest level a park and recreation professional can reach and demonstrates leadership in all aspects of managing a park and recreation department. Congratulations, Christina. And
Yay.
that's that.
Nice. Thank you. Okay, moving on to Friends of PHNRC.
Okay, I got a call from the IRS, let's see, it was Wednesday, and the woman who was assigned to the case was still looking for information despite the lawyer having given it to her twice. So I clarified with her that we are a startup, we have no funds at this
No
point.
revenue.
No revenue, and we won't until we're legally able to take funds in. And so she understood that part, and she just wanted an estimate of were we going to be over 50,000 a year or under 50,000 a year for the first 3 years. And I said, we'll be under 50,000 for the first 3 years. And so we left it at that. She was happy. She said it could take 4 days to 4 weeks to get the final approval. So we could hear Monday, or it's going to be anytime
March.
in between. So that's the latest update.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dan.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on to new initiatives, the trails and the paths, and optimal with conversation.
Yes.
John?
John?
I guess that came up at my request. The path maintenance has been great. And I think maybe in some spots it's too great, because they're getting really wide and almost like a road wide. And I just think that's too much path. And it feels less like a path on a lot of these areas and more like a car or, some kind of vehicle should be driving down it. So, it's easy enough just to bring in those borders, but I would suggest, 48 inches or so like a 4-foot wide path as an optimal path. That allows for, at least 2 people to walk on it. And then when those grasses grow and they start to lean in, you could still pass. And then we trim those anyway, in the summertime. But there's some of them, I know Heron Pond path is getting super wide. It's well maintained by Chris Wood. Thanks for all his help. But it's getting, I just think, too big. And I just want to see if anybody else had an opinion on that.
I think it's a good point.
I think so too.
Yeah, it does, it's starting to get a little bit like a super highway.
Yeah.
Is it just at that site, though?
Well, no, I think the path in portions around the slough is very, very wide. Heron Pond, I know, is wide. And there's parts of Morava that are getting pretty wide as well. I'm not sure how that evolved, but it did. And I just think there's too much.
Well, we want it wide enough for people walking in opposite directions to be able to pass each other.
They're plenty wide for that. I mean, you can put a whole 2 families walking past
Okay.
each other now. But I think, that's why I think and I went out, I measured, and I did all kinds of stuff. But I think 48 inches, because 48 inches is also a good width. Because if you're running a mower down there that has a 48-inch, a lot of them have a 48-inch cutting platform, you could just drive down it and it's done. It doesn't take multiple paths and stuff
Right.
like that. And there's plenty of room for 2 people to pass each other or 2 people to walk side by side, and then it's not so wide where it feels like it's like a road.
Do you think that perception of it being extra wide could just be the season? I mean, in the.
He measured, John
in the
measured
summer.
it.
What, John?
No, I measured it.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, let's have them move it back in.
Yeah.
And Heron Pond, especially because of the erosion by the creek, it would make sense to have it.
Well, so.
Narrower.
That's a very good point. Last time I walked it, maybe 6 days ago or so, we're cutting away so much off the shoreline that it's defeating the purpose.
Of having
So,
deep
yeah.
roots, because then the grasses, it's the turf grasses that are surviving, not the native grasses.
Right.
Because they're getting mowed down and,
We'll talk to Chris.
Yeah, I'll talk, I can talk to him. So just in general, we want to make these paths feel like you're still taking a stroll down a nature path and not a road that goes through the woods or something.
sure. And that's a nice, it would be nice to have a standard, and that way
So the
everybody's on
standard
the
is
same
4 foot
page.
instead of 5 foot?
Yeah, 4 foot.
I
But I don't think there was a 5 foot before. I think it was just sort of whatever the trail was. What is our boardwalk? Is that 36 or 48?
Boardwalk is 32 inches wide.
But that's a boardwalk, so it's different. So at 48 is, yeah,
48's plenty.
Yeah. Okay.
48 or less, depending on certain areas, right? Because like what around the slough, like that little area?
All right, so
That's not
what
48.
What I can do is send an email out to all the people that are.
Not more than 48.
Part of the.
Not more than 48.
Yeah.
I think if it's less than, like I said, if you wanted to put a mower down there with a 48-inch deck, then you're not going to make it. And so one of the problems, when I maintain my sections of these trails, we have people lay down these border logs and all that, and it's going like this all over the place. And if it's less than that 48, then I end up, getting
Getting
stuck.
off, yeah.
Getting on, it takes more time and energy. So I just think it's,
Yeah, so you've been mowing that area, like going into, kind of like by Terry's house, like you've been mowing that, and that's 48?
yeah, I mow down through there up to like Zeke's Trail.
Yeah,
And
that's
that's all 48 inches.
okay, well, that's perfect for me. I thought it was a little less than that.
Yeah.
Okay,
I agree.
Yeah, anybody else want to comment about that?
No, I think it's great.
Yeah,
It's the part that's,
yeah.
you know, like down toward now 83, there's
Yeah.
parts that are like 6 feet wide. I mean, you could drive an ATV down that.
Yeah.
And people
some people
might.
might,
And some
and
people
that's-
might drive an ATV, and that's the
Right.
problem too.
Yeah, the only problem I see at Marava sometimes is a lot of the plants, they get over the path. And sometimes only one person can
Yeah.
walk down them. And
I
that's
think
just,
that's how we migrated into 5 foot wide was the summer drop.
But I think, you know, I mean, the way I handle that, though, when I'm doing my sections of the trail is, if they're leaning over,
just,
I cut
sure,
it.
yeah.
Just cut
I mean, I take my hedge trimmer and cut it. And it's just nice and clean, and
Especially when the interns leave, I mean, those paths get kind of overgrown real
Right.
quick, you know,
Yeah.
late summer. And
Yeah, right. When the interns are here, everything is
there's no
peachy
problem.
keen,
it's
everything's
good.
perfect.
Yeah.
As soon as they leave, it's on us. Yeah. Okay, so everybody's in
All right, I'll
agreement?
send out an email on that.
48 inches is
Yeah.
good, yeah,
Okay.
it's fine.
Jill, you think that's okay too?
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Okay, great.
And thank you, John.
Thank you.
thank you.
Okay, here's what I'd like to add some more to this. Peter, you had sent me an email about a tree initiative.
Right.
Could you speak to that, please?
Yeah, there's an opportunity to get more trees through a grant, through Open Lands and Tree Keepers. I don't know if the commission is wanting more trees, especially the eastern portion of Prospect Heights. I'm not real familiar with the eastern portion, but it has been identified as an area that needs more trees and is available for grants. The western portion of Prospect Heights is not eligible for some of these grants. So it's up to the commission whether we want to, you know, find a school or a park or someplace where we could plant more trees and get a grant. So,
We had talked with Public Works about putting trees into the east side, and they could not come up with a location
As far as the city is
as far
concerned,
as the city was
Okay.
but that
concerned.
whole area over there is actually River Trails Park District. So River Trails Park District might be interested in trees.
That's a
because-
good point.
and I
Because-
don't know if Christina, if she knows of any park, you know, in, you know, the eastern portion of
That's not
Prospect
her.
Heights.
Right, so it's,
Jurisdiction?
right.
They'll work together.
They all work together, but it's very strange because like River Trails is also in Prospect Heights, and then also Prospect Heights Park District is outside of the boundaries of Prospect Heights. So they sort of overlap with their boundaries, even though they are separate entities, but they all work together.
Okay.
But on the east side, it's the River Trails Park District.
Okay.
And then I know that there's some, obviously, city-owned property on the east side too, rights of way and things like that, that could be looked at, or even, you know, around the Metro Rail maybe, right? All the areas that Mark had shown you, those areas might also. So I think maybe it's worth a conversation both to Mark Roscoe and ask Christina for, you know, whether she has any ideas or if she,
You know,
who's the contact at River Trails? Brett?
Yeah, Brett.
Okay.
You know, it would be nice by the Prospect Heights train station, because as the train's coming in, and you have the power lines there with the open area, and for people, like especially in the springtime, if we had some budding, flowering things, it would be a nice welcoming.
Problem is.
Couldn't be
that
under the
that's
power
Conwood.
lines.
It's-
Well, I mean, well, you
Right,
know,
but
along
along
Wolf
the-
Road and
right.
along
Yeah.
Yeah,
there, or something.
and it's also an area that Mark Roscoe asked, like, we were looking for an area, and he said, this is one of those areas. Maybe we can incorporate that into a new
I'll
area.
go back to Mark and to Christina and to Brett and see
Okay.
what's what. Peter, you also mentioned, I believe, that Mary would be interested in.
Getting
writing
the grants, yes.
Wow.
She's well into that, so.
Yeah, cool.
That would be really nice.
It'd be a
All
great
right.
opportunity for more native trees in Prospect Heights, especially the eastern portion. That's what we're really looking at.
Right.
Yeah,
Is
we-
there a deadline for the grants, do you know?
No, I would move on it as quick as possible because it takes time to organize these things.
Sure, okay. Well, this is a good time to do
All right,
it.
I'll check out.
Okay.
The other thing I want to add is just a shout out about Facebook. We have volunteers who have picked that up and are managing that now. And so that's really escalated.
It has, we have so many followers and people are
That's Judy,
posting and
what's Judy's last name?
Zollner.
Zollner
Judy
is
Zollner is-
taking it over, so
She's
it's working out
posting
very
from our
well.
work days and photos and keep people engaged and responding. For instance, we had the library, I guess that's this weekend, the library seed giveaway.
Oh, really?
I think that's this Sunday.
No, it's
the-
already, I think it's already happened.
Well, I just got an email.
Now, is she including Instagram in there? Because,
No, I don't
I
think
mean,
so.
there, to do both is nominal extra effort.
Yeah.
I don't
I'm
think
Because
sure
they're
she would.
interconnected and you can,
We'll check.
when you post through Facebook.
I don't think we have an Instagram account. I can ask her, though.
Chicken Link went up pretty quickly. It's,
Yeah. It's just whether she'd be willing, and again, it's, you know, because they're both the same entity, owned by the same entity, they're interconnected, so it makes it easy to post on one and it gets posted on both.
We did want to thank Judy, though,
Yeah.
for taking that over. She's doing a great job. The other thing I wanted to add was there are 2 opportunities for learning. And I sent out an email tonight to the commissioners and to key volunteers. The Forest Preserve of Cook County is doing frog call seminars, and the purpose is to train people to be frog monitors. And there's like 5 dates that are available, and Allison Sasser-Villette is going to be conducting those classes. So the link is in that email, and if you're interested, we need frog monitors, so I'm going to do it.
Definitely do.
I'm just going to do it.
Is it
There's
like,
like 5 different dates.
but is only one date for the, or does you have to
No,
clear all
it's
5?
the same, no, it's, you only do one, and it's like
Okay.
one,
Oh.
but there's 5 different days to do it
That you
on
can do it.
throughout the month, and it's 3 hours. So, and you learn 13 key species that we have here in Illinois.
So you can monitor frogs.
And then the last thing was, what was?
Trills.
Janet McDonald sent us a email also about Doug Tallamy giving another talk that's going to be available at the viewing room at the Arlington Heights Library, and that's coming up as well. It's his new talk about making your backyard a park.
Oh,
So that's pretty interesting, too. So all that information is in the email that went out. If you guys are interested, and anyone in the public is interested, we'll post those, and I'll give that information to Judy Zellner, and she'll put it on Facebook.
fabulous.
And I guess that kind of is part of new business, which is announcements to the public.
Well, I do have an announcement to the
Okay.
public, if you don't mind. So Seth typically provides sustainable green options, so in his absence, I wish to advise you to wash your hands of paper towels. Did you know that we use about 3,000 paper towels per person per year? Unpaper towels from Marley's Monsters, a woman-owned company in Oregon, are the perfect sustainable alternative to traditional paper towels. Made from soft, absorbent, 100% cotton flannel fabric, these towels may be used for cleaning up spills, wiping down counters, or even used as napkins at mealtime. Unpaper towels are a small, sustainable act with a huge environmental impact. Please visit their website, marleysmonsters.com, and I'll have that in the minutes.
Thank
we actually use those, and we have been for a year or 2 now, and yeah, I mean, our paper towel usage is
Yeah.
drastically down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we don't even have them in the house anymore.
Yeah, they have a slew of, they have, instead of cotton balls and cotton swabs, they have materials for that, so. A lot
They
of
go
nice-
on a roll too, so you just line them up on a roll, like your paper towel roll, and you can just pull off, it's a reusable.
And washable.
Washable, yeah, it's really great.
Cool.
That's great, thank you. Yeah, we use way too many paper towels, I think, yeah. But,
Here's the date of the,
Yeah, the date is actually Monday, the 27th of January. How about that?
that's for the watch party for Doug Tellamy.
oh,
Correct.
okay.
Oh, Monday, January 27th?
6:30 to 8.
Okay. And then I actually did, excuse me, did look up the native seed giveaway and swap, and it is not over. It is actually January 12th, which is this Sunday from 1 to 3 p.m., because I just received an email to post it on our Facebook, which Judy also got. So that's really nice. It's an initiative by the library. And so it says, don't have any seeds to swap. We have plenty to get you started. Have a big bag of Marsh Blazing Star or any native that you don't have time to clean up and put into smaller bags. Donate to us and we'll do the work. So they're doing a swap at the library, which is so great.
Nice.
So it's an initiative that's not by us. It's
Yeah.
by, someone else. It would be nice to go to that and meet the people that are doing this. So they're going to have stations on site prep, winter sowing, and master gardeners to help with plant selection. You're going to have a spot to pick up extra plastic pots or drop off ones that you don't need. It's a day of learning about natives, learning why natives are important and how to garden with them, and getting free seeds. Have an established garden, share some seeds and your knowledge.
Nice.
Pretty nice.
When is that and where?
That is this Sunday
At Prospect
at
Heights.
Prospect Heights Library, and it is between 1 and 3 p.m.
Okay.
They
3
open at
days
1
from now.
On Sundays.
Learn a few things there.
It's really great. I can learn a few things. We do have an overabundance of Minarda that we can probably give a few, a pound of Minarda to
Oh, I would
them.
love Minarda.
Okay, come
We
on.
have so much Minarda.
Love Minarda.
Okay, so that's it. No visitors.
No visitors, no comments. I motion we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you so much.
Yep.